Jai Hind and a very good afternoon to Honorable Vice Chancellor Sir, respected Deans, Directors, HODs and faculty members. We are once gathered today for the continuation of Train the Trainer series, lecture series, and today's topic is promoting sustainable economic growth, innovative strategies for efficient finance and resource management, role of higher education institution. And for this session, today we are inviting Professor Dr. R.K Ghai Sir, Dean, Faculty of Management and Commerce, Swami Vivekanand, Subharti University, Meerut. Sir is presently working as a Dean, Faculty of Management and Commerce, has a career span of 27 years in academics and has worked as Professor, Principal, Dean and Director in Management Institutes and as Campus Director in Integrated Technical Campus of Institutes. He has been enriched academically by PhD in Management, MPhil, Entrepreneurship, MBA dual major specializations with merit position from Barkatullah University, Bhopal, and successfully completed rigorous long-term FDP at IIM Lucknow with the underlying principle the entire life is a learning process. He has been instrumental in standard operating procedures and also associated with different Indian universities and well-established business schools as a member of board of studies, member of the inspection team, and many more. He has conducted many workshops, FDPs, and MDPs in the leading institutes and organizations in the country. 74 research papers have been published in journals of national and international repute, and 7 management books with renowned publishers are to his credit. Recently, in March 2023, he has been awarded the Best Paper Presentation Award titled Consumer Behavior of Males Towards Cosmetic Products, an Empirical Study in the National Conference on Contemporary Research by Maharishi Mahesh Yogi Vedic Vishwavidyalaya, Katni, Madhya Pradesh. He strongly believes that sharing the knowledge is multiplying the knowledge. Now, I would like to invite Sir to please carry forward the session. Over to you, Sir.
Well, Jai Hind to all. At the outset, I express my gratitude towards our Honorable Vice Chancellor Sir, Major General Dr. G.K. Thaplyal Sir, to provide us a good opportunity. The moment where I am to deliver a lecturate on a very vibrant topic today amidst my learned colleagues has become an unforgettable moment for me. With the due permission of the chair, I am going to deliver my lecturate on promoting sustainable economic growth, innovative strategies for efficient finance and resource management, role of higher education institutions. The flow of the presentation is like, as mentioned in the slides, economy, sustainable economic growth, factors influencing sustainable economic growth, GDP, and so on and so forth. And I will focus on all these relevant terms in brief during my presentation. The economy, what is economy? It's a very common term. We all listen this term frequently. So economy can be expressed in a very simple way. Economy is the system to ensure effective utilization of available resources so that goods and services can not only be produced but consumed as well. So by this expression we have two major factors. One is production and other is consumption. And as something is before you, it is my humble submission and request to everyone to have this product. Yes, and after consuming this, we will all become end consumer of this. So the procurement the process from procurement to consumption ensures certain monetary transaction. And monetary transaction takes place at two levels. One is micro and other is macro. So this is a micro level of transaction. Monetary transaction is at micro level known as transaction of money. At macro level, transaction of capital. So This is economy. Next, there are three kinds of economy: capitalist economy, second one is command and socialist economy, and mixed economy. In a capitalist economy, the role of government is very, very limited. Ownership lies with the private entities. Prices of goods are determined by considering the marketing trends, and here two major factors: supply and demand. Name of certain countries are United Kingdom, Canada, Australia, UAE, having capitalist economy. Second is the command economy. Command. Here the role of government is very, very important. Government is a dominant central authority. The government retains overall control on companies. The prices of goods are determined by government itself. Name of certain countries are China, Cuba, and Vietnam, and so on and so forth. And third one is the mixed economy. Mixed economy where public sector and private sector coexist and leverages international trade. And the economy of a country is mixed economy. And certain countries having mixed economy are United States of America, Japan, Germany, Russia. So economy has three sectors as shown in the slide. Primary sectors deal with agriculture, forestry and fishing. Secondary sector known as industry sector as it deal with different kind of industries as mentioned, mining, quarrying, manufacturing and so on and so forth. And third one is the service industry, and this industry belongs to us. The education come under this. And one noticeable point is here that service sector contribute to the economy at the most. Now the question arises, economy we understand. What is a sustainable economic growth? Sustainable economic growth means here we are talking about the development of economy without economic problems and without depleting the resources. So if I just break my expression about sustainable economic growth into two parts, the first part is we are speaking about the economic problems. What kind of economic problems are faced by the countries? These are the main economic problems, and I will throw light on these terms in brief. Poverty we understand. When masses are not in position to meet out the basic necessities of life, in Hindi we can say roti, kapda or makan. That is there, and now these days the health care is also added to it. Unemployment, this situation occurs when there is a dearth of employment opportunities, and on the other hand there is ample of availability of manpower in the market. Trade deficit. Trade deficit occurs when in a country import is found at the higher side than export. This is a trade deficit. And debt. Debt means when certain country is not in position to manage the debt. Here I just want to give the example of our neighboring country Pakistan. It is not exaggeration if I say the economy of Pakistan is totally ruined. Income inequality means unequal distribution of wealth and income within the society. Natural disaster, we all understand, natural calamities, earthquake, flood, and so on and so forth. Inflation, when the prices of goods and services are hiked, it affects the purchasing power of masses. Lack of investment, when the country is not in position to invest in fruitful ventures, there is a limitation on the part of country financially So if there is no investment, then there is no return. So here return on investment concept of management fails. Political instability we all understand. When the government of any country is not stable, it discourages the foreign investors to invest in such kind of country. Then factors influencing sustainable economic growth. As we are talking, the human factor we consider. When we are talking of human factor in domain of economy, it means that we are talking your living standard and the consumption pattern of products. As we find certain products are consumed to a great extent, resulting in demand of these products, and this condition impels the manufacturers to produce such products at the higher side. These are human. Social factor, you can say, we simply say there should not be any social injustice, discrimination in the society on any demographic factor. It should not be based on age, gender, caste, creed, and so on, and value should be offered to all stakeholders. Economical, when we are talking, economical always advocates consistent generation of profit and optimum utilization of available resources prudently. When I use the term prudently, it means that we are talking about the planning. Mainly there are three kinds of planning on the basis of a period, like short-term planning limits to 1 year, planning from 2 to 5 years come under medium-term planning, and then long-term planning beyond 5 years. So every planning should be chalked out meticulously. What is GDP? As in my earlier slide, I have shown the GDP. What does it mean? What is the importance of GDP? GDP stands for Gross Domestic Product, meaning refers to total value of goods and services produced in a concerning year within the stipulated geographical limit. It means, why we are talking about a geographical limit? In simple language we can say, here we are talking about a country. So far as the GDP is concerned, it is worked out quarterly, and the one good sign for us being an Indian, we must be aware that our latest quarter from April to August, our GDP is 7.8%. And one noticeable point is here, so far as the period of working out GDP may vary from country to country. If two consecutive GDP quarters show positive growth in GDP, called economic boom, and it just reverse when negativity is there. If there is no growth in GDP, called economic bust. This is our 2022 and 23 GDP of our country, 7.2. Well, everyone knows that, and we should be happy to know our country has become the 5th largest economy of the world, as it is shown, as it is mentioned in the slide. Other countries are United States 26 trillion, China 19.3 trillion, Japan 4.4, Germany 4.3 trillion, India 3.7 trillion. Here these figures are mentioned in dollar. If we just try to convert, if someone asks in what is the value in our INR, Indian National Rupee, in our currency, then 1 trillion is equivalent to 1 lakh crore. If we just want to write this figure, then we should put 13 zeros behind this figure. Next. Then second part is very important. First I have completed. Second is depleting the resources. Here I simply touch the natural resources. As we all know, the water, coal, oil and natural gases. Ways for preventing depletion of natural resources. These are the ways. utilizing electricity efficiently, using more renewable energy, solar, wind and hydro energy, avoiding single-use plastic, reducing food waste, treating wastewater before using it, augmenting use of electric vehicles. Here, that is the gist of this, my dealing with the quality education SDG 4. The United Nations for Sustainable Development, there are 17, and so far as United Nations we all understand, it is an intergovernmental body, office at New York, and 136 countries are the member of UN, and so far as our India is concerned, it has been member of UN since 1950. So when we are talking about the higher education, there are salient points. First, India's higher education system is the world's third largest in terms of students and colleges, next to China and the United States. Higher education has three significant roles: education, research and innovation, and social contribution. For the smooth and effective functioning of higher education system of the country, educational finance is an important aspect. It means that education does not only benefit its last consumer, that is students, whereas education benefits the entire society in terms of social cohesion, ethical values, morality and many others. These are the glimpses regarding university and I am going to read them out quickly. Central University in our country 56, State University 459, deemed to be university 127, private university 430, the total 772 and total number of college 43,796. Next. In case of our state UP, we have taken the data. Central University 6, State Universities 34, deemed to be universities 08 and private universities 28. Total universities 76 and total number of colleges 8,114. Now that is very important, the key points related to financial resources in the higher education institutions. As we all know, the government funds, tuition fees and donation and so on. The government always announces different financial provisions for the upliftment of students in terms of scholarships and fellowships, etc. So ways of managing the finance and tuition fee, it is a major source of revenue and donations and so on. To protect higher education's finances, this I will tell you about how we are. There should be, when we are talking about the protect higher education institutes finances, the cost analysis should be there. To manage cash reserves and corpus fund, here I have used the term corpus fund. What is it? The corpus fund is generally meant for contingency. It is used during the contingency to meet out operational expenses to exist. जब आपका अस्तित्व ही खतरे में पड़ जाएगा, to allocate the resources effectively, yes, it matters how we are going to utilize our resources, the optimum utilization of resources. Then to encourage income generation, it means that the revenue generation. This is the feasible models developed on the basis of different research and survey have been conducted. Feasible model of sustainable economic growth in higher education institutions comprising the following determinants. First, adopting measures to motivate the human resource. Very interesting it is. Human resource is generally used for manpower, but if we just want to go into deep, every employee cannot be considered as a resource. This term is reserved for only performers, and for higher education institutes, they should think positively how they should retain the human capital with us. So there are certain HR tools. There should be a proper incentive plans for performers. There should be a free fair performance appraisal system, and there should be a sound promotion policy. The main objective of all these tools to create a healthy working environment and to create higher degree of competitive environment. We cannot compare everyone with others. Everyone has one's own potential. Second is the formulating zero-based budgeting. Why we propose zero-based budgeting? In our country or in other countries also, they use the very, you can say, conventional way. First thing, the point, when we chalk out the budget, it should be incremental. Second, the formulating zero-based. What's the meaning of zero-based budgeting? Why it is called zero-based? Here, sir, the thing is that any data pertaining to past related to budget is not considered. We should start afresh. And this is the only method which provides flexibility for cutbacks. कटौती का भी उतना ही है, ख्याल रखते हैं. Provides flexibility for cutbacks and growth during the budgetary year, as this is the only method having different kind of expenditures way and savings method. Is it clear? This is called zero based, sir. Generally what happens in practice, we on the basis of past, we just try, we believe, we don't want to leave our comfortable zone. Whatever with data for the last 5 years, we simply accumulate and present a budget. This should not be there. And the last part of this line is very important, sir. Ranging from department level to top level. It should be made a regular practice at the department level as well in order to better outcomes. So, conducting cost analysis periodically, like we always speaks about cost consciousness, cost effectiveness, but this practice is not in place to a considerable extent in our Indian universities or HES. The cost analysis is conducted frequently, periodically, whatever may be the period may be decided by the top management. It may be quarter, 6 monthly or yearly even. Provide autonomy at the institutional level to mobilize the fund. Yes, here I am talking little bit about the decentralization. The disbursement power should be lies with the department, with the institute. Whatever may be the range, whatever may be the limit, it should be proper and decided by the top management. Then third is the encouraging research and innovation through strong academia and industry, that we know how we should have a research and innovation through strong academia. Yes, there should be certain MOU that we are doing as well, we understand. MOU should be there. Certain integrated industry program should be run, and for certain pilot projects which are not main, we should not much focus on the pilot project, means the short term project should be there. Encouraging consultancy services to the corporate world, sir. Here I have cited the example of MDP, Management Development Programs. Here what under this, the institutes, the academia, the universities, they approach the leading organization of the corporate world, as they also need a proper management of their manpower. So they just want to take our services, and it should be based on charge. It is, and it may be one of the major source of revenue generation. Introducing short-term skill development program, considering the viability by conducting survey. Well, even we offer, it is a common practice, but the important thing is that we offer without considering the viability. In general, I am telling what has happened. No survey is conducted in our country. In general, exceptions are there. Exceptions are there. Means what we are going to propose, then we should focus our local market. What exactly are the students they want, and whether what we are going to propose, the short-term skill development program, it will be workable or viable or not. Clustering of colleges, department for a common task that we are doing, sir, is a good example of our central library. And as we are using the auditorium for conducting our faculty development programs, so this sharing of the resources. Initiating measure to rent out the facilities of education institutes. Yes, here we are talking about the infrastructural facilities, as we have very good infrastructures that we are even doing, like classrooms, labs, playgrounds, auditoriums. We should rent out to external agencies as well to generate the revenue. Then endowment fund and fundraising from alumni association. Endowment funds, this fund generally NGOs, they have certain funds for the upliftment of the students and they donate this fund to the universities, and this fund is kept under the endowment fund by the university or higher education institutes. Fundraising from alumni association, yes, it's very simple to tell, but how to raise it has become $1 million question, as we all understand. This is there. Attaching due importance to the advancement in the technology to reduce the operational cost. Here, if we take the example of paperless environment, we are all in favor of this, but in practice, the ground reality is just reverse. So here I have cited the example of Japan. It is a tiny country, and their wastage of stationery is concerned with the punitive action. Per head, your degree of wastage is calculated. So it is a challenging task for us. So it should be there. This I have cited the example only. Making the training and development as a permanent feature. Obviously, development cannot be done in a day, and training, it is an ongoing process, and certain trainings are very common for all. Based on life skills management, you can say everyone needs different kind of skills, and that we are doing. And certain training and development programs are very, very specific, related to a specific domain. So it should be made as a regular feature, though in our university we are trying to make it, or it is now it is considered as a regular feature. Initiating more MOUs with foreign universities for joint degree programs and exchange of students with the spirit of revenue generation through enhancing number of enrollment from abroad. Sir, this is the ground reality. Even presently, the degree of outflow of our Indian students to abroad is found at the higher side. Certain surveys have been conducted to assess what are the reason behind. First one is the, you can say, global standard of education, and second, the psyche of Indians. Like we find there are psyche and mindset, you can say. We feel this is general phenomena amongst us. They are better there. But how extent they are better, now India is in position to understand. After implementing the NEP, now that is up to us how we are going to utilize this golden opportunity. Increasing gross enrollment ratio in higher education, yes. What is the gross enrollment ratio? I am going to express a little bit. The gross enrollment ratio is what it is. The gross enrollment ratio refers to number of students enrolled in a particular level of education. There are three kinds of education, three levels of education: primary, secondary, and tertiary. So refers to number of students enrolled in a particular level of education as a percentage of total population of that age group. Suppose our entry level for primary is 5 years or 5 to 7 years, and all the, you can say, population cover under this bracket enrolled, it means that our gross enrollment ratio is 10%. But our country's gross enrollment ratio for higher education is 27% now, and as per so many reports, it would be 50 by 2035. There are suggestions forcing by making law by the government for the corporate to allocate a portion of CSR funds for higher education. In our country, there is no law for that to enforce that. It is optional. So certain they are doing good work in CSR, certain corporate, but there is no mandatory on the part. It should be. Focusing on educational tourism as an educational initiative, sir. Here survey has been conducted to assess the students' inclination towards the history and culture and subculture of other countries, and it has been found that the students of other countries, they are keenly interested to know the history, culture, subculture of other countries. So in order to attract them, certain short-term programs based on tourism have been launched by certain universities, and this term has been coined as educational tourism. Third one, yes, the establishing a connect of university with the capital market to raise the fund from common public. It is a very challenging for us because our country, or even most of the countries, the universities and higher education institutions are covered under non-profit organization. But now the time is changed. Here I am in position to cite certain live examples of the university, those who have already entered into the capital market, like Oxford, they are planning, California, Phoenix. Obviously, their act permits them, that is there. But here what is IPO? I have used the term IPO, initial public offering, where issues are offered, shares are offered to the public by the organization. The findings of my presentation, what? The person is a social creature. One has been developing himself according to the expectations of the society. Along with the development of civilization, human needs are increasing. Many factors affect the economic development of a country, namely human, social, economical, and environmental. The desired use of resources for the economic development of the country depends on education. In developed countries, the pace of economic growth is faster due to higher education level. Due to the low level of education in developing countries, the pace of economic development slows down. Level of education gives impetus to rapid economic development by affecting factors. Education in all its aspects is no different today from any other industrial unit. Industry deals with man, material and money. These three attributes also govern education. Here I am trying to indicate about to touch the capital market as well. Here this statement impels us to think out of the box thinking. And the conclusion of my presentation lies in the quotation of our Honorable Prime Minister Shri Narendra Modi ji. I am going to read this. We must build an agenda for speedy yet sustainable economic growth that is inclusive of all, is respectful of individuals, responsive to innovation, and responsible towards the future generations. Well, sir, before concluding, I am telling, sir, as we all understand, there we will have to go long way, and we should be ready to face the music even, because it is not a bed of roses that is there. Then I concluding my part with a couplet. मंजिलें बड़ी ज़िद्दी होती हैं, मंजिलें बड़ी ज़िद्दी होती हैं, हासिल कहाँ नसीब से होती हैं। मंजिलें बड़ी ज़िद्दी होती हैं, हासिल कहाँ नसीब से होती हैं, मगर वहाँ तूफ़ान भी हार जाते हैं, मगर वहाँ तूफ़ान भी हार जाते हैं, जहाँ कश्तियाँ जिद पर होती हैं, जहाँ कश्तियाँ जिद पर होती हैं। थैंक यू।